It can get you the connections and stuff that you need to make yourself here.
It is called the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, and it's only 3 numbers. First told you about 988 last month, but now your student will see that number every day. WNBF's Ashley Bowles joins us in the studio now. This is actually a state law that's been in the works for a while now.
Yeah, that's right. It has been in the works for a while, Eric. It actually started in 2020, but didn't become law until July 1st of this year. The goal is to make resources more available. Something you just heard from a grieving parent is needed. Just like the last I love you, or the last see you later. You never know when you'll feel a loved one's touch for the last time.
Before this, time is the healer of all things. Not now, but he's with me.
Tony Robinette can no longer see his son's face.
His name is right here.
Right in the middle. Wow. But he can see Jesse's name on this stone. It's a permanent reminder in front of Waccamaw High School in Georgetown County, which dealt with 2 student suicides during the 2018-2019 school year. Another permanent reminder exists in tattoo form on Tony's lower leg, a picture of the father and son's hands intertwined.
I had no idea that those thoughts even were remotely in his mind because, what happened earlier in the school year. He made the comment that there's nothing in the world that would make me take my life. And 45 days later, he's gone.
While Tony still grieves Jesse's loss, his cry for mental health support is loud.
That's the thing, is getting the number out there to where the help is at.
Help now is as simple as dialing 3 numbers. Something the Director of Counseling Services for Horry County wants every student, teacher, and parent to know.
So many students are unsure of how to address their mental health concerns and are afraid to address their mental health concerns.
The fear has eased slightly, though, over the last few years. Pickett believes the pandemic has played a role in helping get more resources.
Before, when kids were being seen by a counselor, everybody would think that was taboo. And now, because everyone has spent the last couple of years struggling, trying to find some sense of normalcy or new normalcy, then it's okay.
And that message went all the way to the State House.
This bill would require institutions of higher education and high schools on student ID cards to include the National Suicide Prevention Hotline.
That was the second reading of the Student Identification Card Suicide Prevention Act on the Senate floor back in April of last year. It was signed into law in May of 2021, and it became effective last month.
Any tools that we get in that toolkit are going to be helpful because, again, every situation is different, every situation is individualized, and the more resources that we have to offer to students, to parents, to those families as a whole is just going to be better.
This is what the back of the digital student ID looks like for Horry County students. While every school district is required to have the suicide prevention hotline, the design is left up to each district. In Horry County, there are 4 numbers listed: the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, the Department of Mental Health Mobile Crisis Number, and the National Teen Dating Abuse Helpline. All steps to encourage talking.
Talking doesn't hurt anyone. It's the only thing I can tell people is dial the number and talk, There's no harm in it.
The last time Tony and Jesse talked was through a text message.
I love you, Mama Bear. I love you, Pops. And, that's the last thing I heard from him. But that morning, told him I loved him before he went to school. And that's the ironic part. It was a normal morning.
It still hurts Tony to talk about Jesse. But Tony says it probably always will. His reason for talking about his son now is the same reason he wants other conversations to begin.
In Horry County, this applies to all 6th through 12th grade students, and parents should have already received a digital copy of their students' ID cards. Printed copies will be received by students in class this week. In the newsroom, Ashley Bowles, WMBF News.